The book I chose is called Between a Rock and a Hard Place, and it was written by Aron Ralston, originally published in 2004. So Aron Ralston is the main character, and he's an avid outdoorsman, mountaineer, and hiker. He lives in Colorado, and he left his job as a mechanical engineer to begin working towards his goal of climbing all of Colorado's peaks that are over 14,000 feet, solo and during winter, which has never been done before. But in early spring of 2003, the weather started to warm and the mountain snowcap started to melt, so he decided to put his climbs on hold until the next winter. Aron is a big risk taker. He likes to live life on the edge, and he truly seeks out adventure. But on April 26th of 2003, without telling anybody of his plans, Aron set out on a solo descent of Blue John Canyon in southeastern Utah. So this area is it's like a desert, and it's very isolated, so there's not many people around. You drive out there and you can hike, but there's no homes or civilians really out. While descending the lower stretches of a slot canyon, Aron dislodged an 800-pound boulder, and him and the rock fell to the bottom of this canyon. And when it fell, it landed and crushed his arm, pinning his right wrist to the side of the canyon wall. After 5 days of rationing the small amount of food and water Aron had left, he became delirious and dehydrated, and finally realized that the only way he was going to be able to escape was by amputating his arm. So he had to first forcibly break his bone of his arm before using a dull pocket knife to sever through the remaining skin, tendons, and nerves. And so this book just takes us on an account of this entire traumatic experience for Ralston, everything that he went through during it, his thoughts, his feelings, his reflections of his previous hikes and his adventures, his regrets and his family's, and it just shows everything that was going on through his head during this time. So the theme of this book is about risks and when and where to draw the line on risks. And the quote that I chose is, "So many people live with unhappy circumstances and yet will not take the initiative to change their situation because they are conditioned to a life of security, conformity, and conservatism, all of which may appear to give one peace of mind, but in reality, nothing is more damaging to the adventurous spirit within a man than a secure future." So throughout this book, we can really see that Aron is definitely a risk taker, and this really shows through him going on solo adventures and not telling his family where he's going, so nobody can really know when he needs to be back or if he's even missing. He likes to take risks to get things done. He's not afraid of adventure, and he even goes back on his past hikes to see some of the other near-death experiences he's had. And so Aron starts to reflect on these risks and whether or not he regrets them and when it is right to take a risk, because in those examples I just provided, maybe he's not doing the right thing for his safety. But when you're looking at this decision of cutting off his arm, he had to weigh these risks of, I could bleed out, this could kill me anyway, the loss of blood, I could pass out, I would lose my arm, I wouldn't have it. But the risk, he realized that this is the only way he was going to get out. His arm was not coming out from under this boulder, so he had to, analyze this decision and truly make the right choice. And that's what I think he wants to reflect on, and whether or not, living this life of adventure or a boring, conformative life is really what is important to someone. This book is of high literary merit, I think, because it is just brilliantly written. It's funny, honest, inspiring, and it's an astonishing report straight from Ralston about his experience of from a line where death meets life, and I think it's just very high up on classic adventure stories. It just takes us through all of Ralston's thoughts, feelings, regrets, and goals as he's going through this traumatic experience. I mean, he talks about how he truly believed he was going to die, so we get to see thoughts of someone who is awaiting their own death. I chose this book because I really like adventure and survival stories. I think that they're really inspiring and really interesting to me. And I had also seen the movie called 127 Hours, which is how long Ralston was stuck down in the canyon when I was younger, and I thought it was really good, so I thought it'd be a good book to read.